Hello everybody. Today in 1935 Dennis Potter was born. He was best known as a screenwriter for some of the most interesting television plays of the 1980s. He best remembered perhaps for The Singing Detective, an extraordinary piece of work where the main character had psoriasis, which is exactly the ailment that Dennis Potter suffered from all his life. As he drew near the end of his life, he developed pancreatic cancer and was given a terminal verdict. His wife, just a few months later, was diagnosed with breast cancer, and because she was more ill than he was, he tended to be the carer until they both died within 10 days of each other. It was within that last period, that last 3 months of Potter's life, that he gave an extraordinary interview to Melvyn Bragg, in which he talked about his attitude to life. And what's most extraordinary for me about it is his ability, in the midst of horrendous pain and anxiety and stress, and caring not only for his wife but also thinking about his own imminent demise, he was able just to delight in what was going on around him, and indeed in the present moment. And in the interview he said there's no use thinking about the past, because although we'd often like to recall it and change it, we can't. And there's no point in thinking about the future, because although that is predictable for a lot of people, there's always the unpredictability that might happen. And the only thing we can really focus on is the now. And I want to read you an extended quotation of what he said about that. Below our window in Ross, when I'm working, for example, there at this season, the blossom is out in full. There in the west, it's early. It's a plum tree. It looks like apple blossom, but it's white. And looking at it, instead of saying, "Oh, that's nice blossom," last week looking at it through the window when I'm writing, I see it is the whitest, frothiest, blossomest blossom that there ever could be, and I can see it. Things are both more trivial than ever they were, and more important than they ever were, and the difference between the trivial and the important doesn't seem to matter. But the oneness of everything is absolutely wondrous. And if people could see that, there's no way of telling you. You have to experience it. But the glory of it, if you like, the comfort of it, the reassurance. Not that I'm interested in reassuring people, bugger that. The fact is, if you see the present tense, boy, do you see it. And boy, can you celebrate it. The wonderful ability to see absolutely clearly everything around him, to delight in it, brought on by the awareness perhaps of the time shortly ahead of him when he wouldn't be able to see it. And maybe for us it's always worth remembering that to see this day as our last is not a cliche, but a valid way of looking at life and really enjoying this moment, and make sure we see and enjoy everything that we see around us.